one person can be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you and tell you you're too naive.
All right. So hello and welcome, everyone. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be with you all today. My name is Ntim, the CEO of the global startup ecosystem. We are home to the world's first and largest digital accelerator platform, helping rising entrepreneurs to launch and scale with purpose. And so I'm really excited about today because many of you know, every quarter I get on live and really share a state of global business, how it is to build a company in the state of the world today. The one that really kicked off this entire series was our first quarter one of 2025. Really got a lot of feedback. Founders really emailed us and DM'd us and said that it was really, really insightful. Some of the tips that I shared for founders, some of the information I shared with stakeholders who are trying to figure out how to navigate this crazy climate that we're in. And so we've been doing it every quarter ever since. And it's been a phenomenal conversation of me getting candid for about 15 to 30 minutes of sharing not only just the state of the global startup ecosystem, but also state of business, state of technology, and how founders can operate in this new paradigm shift that we're all experiencing today. And so with that said, obviously in today's fast shifting global economy, building a business is not the same anymore, right? Right now, you have to be more resilient. You have to be more proactive. And I feel like the world of entrepreneurship is so much being reshaped and redefined by AI, digital trends, economic uncertainty. So I found that a lot of founders are wondering how to stay ahead, how to sustain themselves, how to really grow in this climate, and more importantly, how to define themselves as entrepreneurs, as leaders, and position themselves for sustainable growth. Okay. So obviously from funding shifts to AI shifts and market positioning, there's a lot on a lot of people's minds right now regarding how to navigate this current climate. And it has really exacerbated over the past couple of months since the last conversation that we've had. Okay. So with that said, here at GSC, I just want to give you a little bit of background on our organization. GSC has been around for several years, for close to a decade now. We have been supporting entrepreneurs from around the world. We support over 8,000 entrepreneurs globally through our digital accelerator program and through our tech activations through tech summits around the world. We have been navigating this journey alongside founders who are trying to make it in global marketplaces around the world. So GSC, as stated before, we're the world's first digital accelerator platform, and we're one of the largest digital ecosystem platforms, really helping entrepreneurs to launch and scale with purpose, as stated before. We operate on 3 pillars of ecosystem engagement, which means how we go into different ecosystems and networks and communities that we serve, because we are based in the United States, but we operate across multiple countries around the world. Is entrepreneurship. We're constantly giving people the exact blueprint to not only build, launch, and scale their businesses, but do it with purpose, do it with integrity, and make an impact. So our curriculum, our entrepreneurship is heavily focused on resilience, heavily focused on impact, and heavily focused on making a difference and impacting the lives of communities around the world. The second pillar of engagement is employment. We know that, entrepreneurs are the backbone of any global economy, right? And so by having well thought out leaders as entrepreneurs, they could build companies that can not only employ a very fast, innovative workforce, but inspire a new way of working, a new way of innovating in the communities that they serve. And last but not least, education. We are constantly preparing our constituents within our cohort accelerator programs and our tech summit programs on how to think ahead, how to leverage artificial intelligence, other exponential technologies like space technologies, nanotechnology, virtual reality, space. We're always giving them cutting edge information about what's happening within exponential technologies and how they can leverage it to not only accelerate their companies, but more importantly, make an impact with those technologies. technologies and bridge the digital divide. Our programs and services at GSC is very, very simple. Our flagship program is our annual Digital Startup Accelerator, where we bring in about 1,000 companies from around the world and accelerate them to market through our 4-week virtual accelerator program. For graduates and top founders, if you are already scaling, you're already established, we have the Digital Startup Academy, which is a monthly membership for a very senior and more experienced founders who want more fundamental information on how to really build and sustain their business. And every single year, we have the annual GSC Digital Start Summit. So those are 3 annual activations of how we support entrepreneurs globally. And of course, for our corporate and government and institutional stakeholders, we provide GSC Startup Strategic Advisory, helping them innovate and build innovative programs. We have launched accelerator programs with Forbes and LinkedIn and Google, the State Department, multiple different institutions, both within the US, but also around the world. We have helped countries and governments launch tech parks, tech programs, tech initiatives, tech workforce programs all around the world, especially in emerging markets from Haiti to Ghana and every country in between. And last but not least, we believe partnership and thought leadership exchange is very crucial to development and scaling ecosystems around the world. So we have our quarterly GSC stakeholder roundtables where we invite decision makers and thought leaders in the entrepreneurship space who are supporting entrepreneurs to come with us and exchange ideas on how to innovate and support our amazing entrepreneurs who are building really amazing companies. So our accelerator programs has really scaled over the years since our genesis back in 2015 when we first piloted this concept. But I remember that time when when we launched GSC, we were just a small company with a mission to really bridge the digital divide and make entrepreneurship training and resources accessible to all. So to be where we are as an organization today, scaling with thousands of entrepreneurs and hundreds of global partners, it truly is an understatement to say that we have really learned a lot. Now, with that said, currently we are doing a call for applications for our 8th annual accelerator program. This is a blueprint on last year, when we were able to do the accelerator program with 1,000 companies for our 7th annual program. This year, we have our 8th annual program. Application is in the comments if you want to apply. If you are an entrepreneur who have an innovative idea and you want to launch and you're looking for a platform to do that, to learn the fundamentals of fast business fundamentals, this is the platform for you to do that. So I'm just going to put that in the comments so that way you can have access to that as well. So with that said, there's a lot of different perks for joining the program, but more importantly, you have access to a global community of other entrepreneurs, our resources and curriculum to build and scale effectively, and so on and so forth. And as stated before, in addition to accelerator programs, we do activations, community activations around the world where we launch powerful, highly experienced tech summits around the world. If you Google some of our summits, they're quite inspiring. We go to all around the world. We have about 60 tech summits in our portfolio as we continue this global tour. We said we're going to spend a decade launching tech communities around the world, especially in emerging markets. So we've already been to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Morocco, Haiti, right? Dubai, London, Saudi. We have been to multiple different countries, Ethiopia, and we will continue this mandate until we tap into and really inspire tech activations and community hubs around the world. So our portfolio is 60 and growing, and we're really proud of the work that we do around the world. So if you have any more questions and want to work with us and become also a case study of a partner innovator, please feel free to comment GSC in the comment, and our team will get back to you to see how we could collaborate. And for our founders, we just put the link for you to apply to the Digital Accelerated Program. Okay, so that's a little bit about us at GSC. Now, back to the program. Why we're having this discussion is because we have found that a lot of entrepreneurs are really struggling to navigate this new marketplace. Okay. And many people are feeling, mental fatigue around trying to navigate. And the reality is we're no longer in the era where it's all about scaling fast. It's all about scaling smart, right? Now you have to be really chiseled out in terms of a founder, really thinking about how are you going to grow in this economic climate? How are you going to, leverage this AI disruption wave that's happening? How are you going to compete with this market saturated? Because it's a lot easier to launch and scale a business online now. So how how you're competing for attention online, and how are you also seeking talent, because the workforce culture has also shifted. How people want to work and collaborate has also shifted. How you're tapping into talent is also another thing that's coming up for a lot of founders as well. Now, how I see it, from my vantage point, supporting thousands of entrepreneurs on an annual basis, what we see through the pipeline, what we see that makes successful founders. Even I myself, as a serial entrepreneur, I've built multiple revenue generating businesses, multiple initiatives around the world. I will tell you that the future belongs to founders who can pivot with clarity, not just speed. You have to have clarity of purpose. You have to have conviction, and you have to have clarity in the business that you're bringing to market to operate in this operating reality that we have today. You can no longer say, I just have this fleeting idea and just want to put it out there, get some users, get some traction, and say that I'm a founder. That world is dead. People are more skeptical. There's a huge trust recession right now. People want to work with founders who have purpose and integrity. And so you have to build not only the momentum for your business, you have to also build the brand and the messaging around the business that you're bringing to market. So it's a lot harder now. So with that said, one of the biggest takeaways I want to share with founders is really a blueprint that we at GSC share with our founders on how to operate in today's climate. And it's really called the 8 pillars of, building a scalable business. And really, I'm going to put it out there. I'm just going to say that the business plan is dead. Founders need to really think about building not a business plan, but actually a business ecosystem instead. Just having a business plan, 20-page report about how you're going to go to market no longer works in today's climate. You need to think about the ecosystem and the foundational sense you have around you as an entrepreneur to be able to build and scale effectively. And so I want to share with you what that framework is, and hopefully that will help guide you for those of you who feel lost and confused and want to have a more strategic way of building and scaling your business. I want to separate this into 3 strategic phases. One, I want you to take a step back as a founder and get back to the heart of your why. Why do you want to build this company? I want you to launch with purpose, right? What is the foundational reason why you want to build this company? And when you are at the source of that why, I want you to have a plan in place where you're looking at, okay, what are the 5 key fundamental parts that I need to be able to build this business? And the 5 core pillars that we have as the fast foundations for you to build a scalable, profitable, impact-led business in today's economy starts with 1, pitch, product, platform, pipeline, and process. Those 5 things. So let me start with how you would do that. So first, you need to know what you are building. What is the product? This is your customer offering or invitation to a solution to someone's problem. We're not thinking product centric with features anymore. We're thinking about, okay, what is this product serving? What solution am I providing for this client? What challenge am I solving with this? And you're giving people an invitation to that product. So you are covering the what, right? The who, what, when of business. This is the product. What are you offering clients? What solution? Be solution oriented, not product centric. Gone are the days where you're talking about the features, the parameters, the looks, the design. We don't care. We want to know why you're bringing this to market. Can you solve a problem? Can you solve a challenge? And usually a lot of founders, they are solving a problem that piss them off and they want to be the better solution to what's in the market. If it puts a fire in you, go for it. So start with the product and have a different mentality around what that product serves, okay? The second thing, this is where we're targeting the who, is your pipeline. This is where we talk about customer acquisition strategy, lead generation, right? How are you getting clients to know about you? How are you getting clients to really engage with you? And usually in this structure, what I see in this era is you have to give something for free, some type of thought leadership. Maybe it's a mini course, maybe it's a white paper, a PDF, something that really gives you people a window into why they should come and join your organization and buy your product or service. And what that does is that it creates a pipeline, lead generation, where people get to know your product by getting something from free for you as an introductory to your company. And that's where you're able to really delight them with different phases and interaction with your team, with your product and service. and so on and so forth. So it's really important that you have like kind of like an entry ladder on how people have a first experience with you and your organization. So this is your pipeline process. The third thing is your process. Okay. This is something that a lot of, entrepreneurship programs don't talk enough about, but what is your operation strategy? What is the onboarding experience of your client? When they first interact with you, are they met with no interaction whatsoever, or is there a sequence of events that happens to get them really excited about working with you, working with your team, working with your product or service? So what is your operation strategy? This is the when do things happen with your organization? This is where your tech stack is so important. I'm going to do probably a separate conversation about the tech stack of the future for founders, to walk you through the right tech stack that you need to operate in today's economy as a founder. But essentially, your tech stack is your CRM, your website, your email marketing tools. What does that look like? So what is the process? Again, your operation strategy for building and scaling your company, but also the onboarding experience for your customer. Then we got to think about, where do you want to show up? Your platform. What is your marketing strategy, right? Where should people find you? Now, obviously, they should find you across all social media platforms, but there has to be one key area where there's a consistent conversation for people to engage with you, your product, or your service. For me, that is LinkedIn. That's why I'm live here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. But LinkedIn is the predominant channel where I engage with my clients and my constituents. And last but not least, your pitch, your why. This is your vision, your mission, your origin story as a founder. You need to have a pitch, because you are pitching all types of stakeholders. You're pitching clients, you're pitching partners, you're pitching investors, you're pitching, vendors. You are always, as a founder, pitching different stakeholders to help you succeed as an entrepreneur, to really support the communities that you serve. So pitching is a crucial element that you need to have as a founder. So with that said, that covers the first 5 P's, the 5 pillars of fast foundation success for you to be able to build your company. The who, what, when. So what, your product, which is your customer offering, which is a solution to a challenge. Your pipeline, which is the who, what is your lead generation strategy. Your process, what is your operation strategy. What is the onboarding experience for your clients. Your platform, where can people find you and engage with you, and your why. Your pitch shares your vision, your mission, and your origin story. So that is the most important thing. That is a foundational basis for you to build and scale your company. Now, in terms of specifically scaling, these are strategies. I might have a separate video about this, like where I was able to leverage this early on. And, I am so grateful to have been able to scale multiple ventures across multiple different markets, but these 3 fundamental scaling strategies, where I was able to make the Forbes list, become a global speaker, and really support institutions around the world with these 3 specific scaling strategies, which is to leverage partnerships, publishing, and programs. So let me start with partnerships. Partnership is really, what is your distribution channels? Who are you going to work with? What platforms will you work with to get your product or service out to the masses, right? It could be, event activations. Are you at Davos? Are you at, the World Bank meeting? Are you at Union General Assembly Week? Are you at Tech Weeks, right? Where are you positioning yourself to close partnerships with the right platforms to take your product to scale, okay? So that's something that hands-on from the very beginning, I was very clear and dedicated to. Publishing, in today's climate, with AI being so overwhelming and things are so generic, there's content overload, your creativity and thought leadership is so crucial. So you should have some type of IP framework. I have a framework for my business. I have a framework for each one of my product businesses, okay? So this is something that really requires deeper conversation for you to understand that in today's marketplace, as a founder, you need some type of IP. And I'm not talking about the IP of the product, but your vision, your framework, your thought leadership on why that product or service serves a market, okay? So a framework for interacting with stakeholders. So you should be doing webinars, we should be in Zoom talks, sharing that thought leadership. That is going to help scale your brand and by de facto your business. And last but not least, I can't say this enough, programs. You should be trying to, join events and programs to really accelerate the pace of your business, i.e., GSC Digital Startup Accelerator. We are on a mission to help companies accelerate forward. And so you should be looking for platforms and resources to help give you pretty much the momentum that you need to not build incrementally, but to scale exponentially. Okay. And that's really it. So when you're able to do these things, you're able to follow these 8 steps and be able to not only have the fundamental basics of building a scale, which is having your pitch, your product, your platform, your pipeline, and your process intact, but also your scaling strategies where you're scaling with power and purpose, with partnerships, publishing, and programs. So with that said, if you are an entrepreneur who is really trying to navigate this market, please feel free to comment GSC on the thread. We would love to send you more information on about this template, so that way you can leverage this. Because like I said, I do believe that the business plan is dead. Gone are the days where you have a very generic, strategic, word for word concept on paper. You need to get into the market, and you need to know the ecosystem that you're operating in requires you to be bold, brave, and ready to go. So with that said, for those of you who are navigating this climate, I will say this. It is not for the faint of heart. This is not an easy climate to operate in. So there's going to be a lot of founders, a lot of people who are going to fall off the wayside. If you are dedicated to your purpose, right? That's why I say it starts with launching with purpose. If you are committed to your mission, if you are committed to your vision, if you know why you woke up one day and say, I'm going to stop everything that I'm doing, and I'm going to dedicate my time, energy, and efforts to bringing this solution to the market. Again, I'm not trying to bring a product to market. I'm not trying to bring a service to market. I'm trying to bring a solution to market. That's the energy and fire you need to have in this market. So that way, when you have days when it didn't go well, when you had days when you lost that partnership, or you lost that contract, you lost that client, those L's don't stop you from pushing through. We need a new generation of entrepreneurs. Gone are the days where we have these fake, crazy entrepreneurs who are doing it for egotistical reasons, doing it for pride, doing it for clout, doing it for all the wrong reasons. We need a new generation of entrepreneurs who want to build with purpose, build with integrity, and build with some fire in them, so we can again and be inspired again in this new generation of entrepreneurs. So I salute every one of you guys who are entrepreneurs and founders on the call. I look forward to staying in touch with you. If you need a pick me up and a reminder, go for it. Keep pushing, keep building. Even if you have to build slowly, keep going for it. We need you in this world. We need more aspiring, proactive entrepreneurs. So we look forward to supporting you at GSC, at the Global Startup Ecosystem. I look forward to seeing you for the next State of Startup Ecosystem call. And I'm here to remind you, the world is waiting for you, and is waiting for you to build something with integrity and purpose. We cannot wait to see each and every one of you soar. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you again. My name is Ntim. Looking forward to staying in touch. Bye, everyone.